Hello, everyone. We have made it to day 3 of the amazing workshop, and I appreciate y'all showing up today. Basically, consider yourself the 1%. And what I mean by that is you understand that what hasn't worked for you in the past and isn't serving you, that you can flip that script. You are the 1% who understand that things can be different. You understand that there can be hope. Hi, Vicki. So we're looking forward to today to giving you the actionable steps as to how we put the E to the P to the I to the C into effect. So thank you for being open-minded. Thank you for trusting us through this process. I know for many of you, you've talked about, hey, it feels a little uncomfortable to think about like getting rid of the scale. It gets a little uncomfortable to think that I can actually have balance, that it doesn't have to be, all carbs and cheesecakes and cheeseburgers, to the fact that there's balance, there's 80-20, and we appreciate you trusting us as we deliver this message to you, that yes, it can be different. Now, as you're joining me here today, Catherine, Victoria, thank you for joining me and joining us. Go ahead and drop a hashtag here. Hashtag here. And let's get a little bit of that engagement going. Today is going to be a completely different day. Today is going to be a day where we help you to unlock the answer to true transformation, which is not just your physical results, but also the confidence, emotional, mental, spiritual results that y'all need, and frankly, we all deserve. So, Victoria, great to see you. Catherine, Vicki, Nettie, thank you all for engaging with us here. I'm also very curious. Over the last couple of days, I've been thinking a bit about what are the professions? What's the type of work that y'all do? So go ahead and drop some of that in the chat for us. Let us know a little bit of what your your regular workday looks like. Are you in healthcare? Are you in the education system? Victoria, you're a nurse. We have a lot of nurses who are our clients. They really understand that balance of, I don't want to be in that bed. I don't want to have the high blood pressure. I don't want to be pre-diabetic. I've got to invest in myself so I don't end up there. And I got to say, as nurses and folks who are caregivers, and I know there's dog moms, cat moms on here, we often pour and we pour and we pour. I know as a working mom, I pour as well. And sometimes there's hardly anything left at the end of the day, y'all. So this is for you. This is as a gratitude for you for continuing to show up today. So we've got nurses, attorney, teacher. Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Catherine. Nettie, telecom chair warmer. I got to hear more about that. Vicki, an accounts payable coordinator. Thank you all for continuing to show up after a very busy day. And I know for some of us, we work nights and we're here in the day. So again, thank you. Now, yesterday we unveiled for each of you our epic formula. If you remember, it was education, purpose, intention, and creation. Go ahead and drop hashtag the one that meant the most to you. So is it hashtag education, hashtag purpose, hashtag intention, or hashtag creation? Which one really stuck with you over what we covered yesterday? And just saw you live, dropped in to say hello. Retired teacher, thank you. Grandmother of 6. Special ed teacher, thank you for your continued service. So which one really spoke to you yesterday? And know that what we're going to, intention for Gianna. Nettie, intention, I love it. Catherine, intention. Marcy, creation and expansion. Vicki, intention. Awesome. Again, you might have known the what. You might have done the diet. You might have been told the thing, but it's a PIC that really puts it into practice. So we're going to share with you the simple and guaranteed 4-step strategy to get you the physical results and the confidence that you deserve, which is our epic formula. And we're going to talk about how we put that into actionable steps. Now, today's not going to be your typical webinar. I'll tell you that. We're going to go above and beyond in providing you those action items to put the epic formula into effect, getting you the physical results and the confidence that you deserve, so that we can finally ditch that diet. So go ahead and drop me a fire your diet, hashtag fire your diet on here. And again, thank you for showing up. today, and as you continue to show up for yourself. Now, I got to say what I've said before, this is not the right place for everybody. And we're going to be completely transparent about that. So if you're somebody who's looking to stay on the roller coaster, the emotional and physical roller coaster of dieting, and I don't know if you know this, but every time we try a diet and we put our body through that process, and also our mind, and we fall off eventually because we're human and restriction sucks, for lack of a better word, and we try another diet, our bodies don't really accept or like that change too much. And while we hope to still lose the same 30 pounds, the same 10 pounds, the same 5 pounds, the reality is that the capability of our body, as we continue to go from diet culture to diet program, has less ability to acclimate to those results. So the more we diet, the more time we waste and the more money goes down the drain. So that's why we really have to flip the script. But going back to what I was saying, this isn't for everybody. So if you're looking to stay on that roller coaster of dieting, if you are looking for that unicorn diet, if you're looking for us to tell you to eat this and not that, if you're looking for us to tell you to buy a prepackaged meal plan, that's not us, y'all. We believe in sustainable, simple changes to get you the physical results and confidence you deserve. So if you're a go-getter, if you're somebody who's open-minded, if you are so darn tired of being treated like a number and a dollar symbol by the diet industry, if you're looking to break a plateau, if you're looking to maximize those wins, if you're looking for holistic health, a true holistic health of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual results, then know that you're in the right place. So in return, I'm going to ask you today to stay for the full 60 minutes, that you continue to invest in yourself, and that you remain open-minded. For those of us, we often get this question at the end of today's workshop. How can we continue working with you? How can we take a step closer to y'all? How can I hire you as a coach? Yes, we're going to share some of that at the end, but we're also going to share a lot of good knowledge right in the middle and before that. And that's an invitation we get often. So again, we want to be transparent about that. There will be a couple of bonuses that will be offered to those who want to take a step closer. And one of the things we know is we get a lot of chatter about hormones. Jen, I've tried all the nutrition and I've done all the things, but I can't figure out this aspect. We have a nutrition masterclass bonus, and know that it gives you answers really simply. It's not about supplements. It's not about 4 hours at the gym. It's not about don't eat this, only eat that. So we'll have a bonus for a hormones masterclass. And then I got to tell you, y'all, I went through my first experience 5 days ago, I guess now, through breath work. If you haven't tried it, it is mind-blowing and body healing. So we will also offer that at the end for those who want to take a step closer and work with us. Now, if you're going to ditch the diet, because I think that's why we're all still here, right? And feel empowered, would you rather continue in this very noisy world of the diet culture, the confusion, the defeat, the emotional, I hate to say this, but baggage and just emotional battle that the diet industry puts us through? Or would you actually get real actionable steps for true life transformation that will help you break that plateau, get the results that you want, maximize your time at the gym, and really honestly just give you a path to know that there's hope and that this is not your fault? So I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of things that I think y'all have seen a little bit before. So just as a call out, we do have a free coaching call. If you haven't received the invite, go ahead and drop it, hashtag free coaching, and we will make sure that we get it to you. I won't bore you with a whole lot of this today, but we do have that scholarship that is still out there. If you are looking for a 90-day true transformation experience where coaches really invest in you, and you're looking for a scholarship to that, we do still have that opportunity. And that is based on your engagement as we can continue seeing y'all join on here. And for those watching the replay and hashtagging replay, we also appreciate that. So I'm going to tell you my story real quick. Many of you have heard it. Then I'm going to turn it over to my partner in crime, Courtney. But this is real, y'all. This is life. And I was reflecting a little bit on it today. I went through a period with my weight when I was very young, trying to find answers and not really having a coach, a mentor, a parent, somebody in my pocket that I could say, I'm going through this experience. What do I do? And there was also a time in my life where kids are growing up and can be really big bullies. And while I eventually lost some of that weight and physically, you know, I could have gone to the doctor and they would have said, yes, your results are better and your BMI is lower and, you know, the number on the scale looks better. Inside of right here, it didn't feel that way. And the reason why is pretty simple, because it wasn't food at the end of the day. It was a lot about shame. And I shared a little bit about my family, right? Here's an extra second helping. And it was my mother's way of showing love. And I don't think she really understood that. But what ended up happening was she also wanted me to be healthy. So very quickly came the, here's a second helping. When are you going to lose weight? I don't know. I got to break a cycle and I can't see a way out. And y'all, by that point, I was probably 12. And if we're going to talk about pant sizes, I wore a size 18. I'm 5 feet tall. I know I look big, but I'm 5 feet tall. So that was a significant amount of not just physical weight, but at that point, very emotional weight. And I went through Weight Watchers and the Slim Fast and the all or nothing and the calorie counting and the I can't eat between this time and that time. Nothing worked because this didn't change. And 4 years ago, I'm thankful enough to have run across a group of athletes known as Orange Theory. And yes, I do believe everybody on here is an athlete. And that's when I saw a glimpse that it could be different. And this finally started to change. But then I was having issues with, I'm trying to balance it all. I'm a new parent. I don't know what to do. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago where I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And finally decided I got to crack the nut. When you crack the nut alone, y'all, it can be extremely defeating because you kind of miss the light. Where's the coach? Where's the community? Where's the thing to tell me I'm on the right path? There isn't one. And so this is where Courtney, Brandon, and myself really got together and said, we got to provide folks a solution to know that it's not about the endless dieting. We got to provide them with hope. We got to let them know that it's not their fault. And so this is why we are on this journey to help you and to invest in yourself, because it can be different. And honestly, if I could have paid money to take that amount of time of 30 some years of my life to condense it and say, here's the way you get to the answer, I would have paid a whole lot of money. But the whole point is I figured it out on my own and I'm here to make it simpler for you. So yes, life has been amazing. I've had so many epic wins. This year, I have branded myself with what I call a PR shirt at Orange Theory. You can see it there. It says, underestimate me. That'll be fun. And yes, I do think it's kind of funny when the men come over and ask them if they could use my weights. No, those are mine. I put the 50 there for a reason. But with that being said, now I have this shirt that on the back, I have dry try times and 500-meter rows and mile times. And my goal is to every day go in and give it my best. Not necessarily to PR, but to give it my best, to drop in some investment in myself so that when the opportunity comes by, I show up and do my best work. So I'm going to turn it over to Courtney now. That's a bit about me, but just to let you know, there's hope and this is not your fault. To Brandon, I'm sorry, y'all. Brandon's coming on up. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, we don't know what we're doing, you guys. We know what we're doing. But welcome, you guys, and welcome to day 3. Good to see all of you. So just in case, we're going to do that recap. We got Jen's story, my story, Brandon's story. You guys might be sick of our stories, but you know what we're really excited for? We're excited for your story. What's your story going to be at the end of these 90 days? Because that's what we really want you guys to think about is right now, today, you get to be the creator and you get to change your story. So my story, right? I had eating disorders. I had disordered eating. I was a crazy calorie counter. I hated my body. I hated the way I looked. I was just really unhappy with all of that for a very long time. And I put on a good fake and I pretended like everything was good, but I really was just in so much fear. And the thing that that came to me today when I was thinking about this, that I don't think I've said yet, was that for most of my life, all of the action that I took was so that I could not hate my body. everything I did, it was out of fear. And so it was that I could not hate my body. And what really shifted for me was when all of a sudden I was like, I remember going through this in this process and I was like, well, I want to love my body. And I really thought there was no way possible. And I had no idea how to get there. But I was like, I really truly want to love my body. And then I was like, well, what actions, what intention would change if I wanted to love my body? And I was like, And I had this really big realization too, that my body had like a really good reason to be super pissed off at me, right? I had made it throw up. I had starved it. I had talked badly about it. And I was like, well, no wonder my body's not working for me, right? Like I'm just trying to not hate it. And all I wanted to do was learn how to love it. So when I shifted my intention, I said, if I loved my body, which I didn't then, what are the things that I would do? And I was like, well, I would feed it good food because that makes it feel good. I would move it because that makes it feel good. I would talk well about it. I would talk about all the things that I love about it. I would actually like let it rest and nourish it and listen to it, for goodness sakes. Like I'd stop punishing it. And you guys, when I shifted that intention, everything really changed, right? And that's that inside out transformation that we talk about, was that I was like, well, if I do want to love my body, I'm going to start acting as if, right? That's one of my favorite things that we teach, is act as if. Act as if you already have the desire. So I started acting as if, and lo and behold, my body was like, oh, finally you're showing up for me. Finally, you're actually like letting, like when I'm broken, you let me rest. You give me the things that I desire. You talk well about me. And all of a sudden everything changed, right? So I want you guys to start thinking, what would that shift look like for you? What would that look like when you become the creator? What would it feel like to actually love your body? So I want you guys to drop a hashtag love my body for me. So that's a little bit more of my story today. I'm going to pass it on to Brandon to share his story. And then we're going to keep moving. So give us a E to the P to the I to the C. It's a Thursday wrap game. And we're just going to let you guys know Thursdays are this kind of day for us. So we're bringing it back up.
Is that the Zoom?
That's the Zoom. Zoom!
Awesome. What's going on, you guys? Day 3. Yet again, I know Jen started off with this, you guys, but yet again, give yourself some props, give yourself some credit for showing up today. Been coaching for a very, very long time. And the things we try to really help our clients and help our people understand is there's going to be those days, just like what Court said, there's going to be that roller coaster ride. But if you continue to show up and you continue to just put one foot in front of the other and you continue to what we call 1% at a time, you will see that progress that you've been longing for. It's not the big highlight reel. It's not those type of things. All right. So the kind of just a different portion of my story today, you guys, is, day 1, I shared with you essentially the gift that I was given by a coach and a mentor that basically changed my life and changed my outlook when it came to nutrition and understanding the simplicity that it can be, but also on the same standpoint, what the massive change it can make in such a short amount of time. And then, I also went on to kind of the form of kind of sharing another portion, but today I want to get into the side of what I think for so many of us and so many of our clients that get into this is the sense of, well, what do I need to do, right? Like, tell me the one thing that is going to change this. Tell me the one magic ingredient, give me the magic bullet and get me there. And I think so many of us start down this path, and it's our sense of certainty that we're locking a hold of, right? Like, how many calories should I have? How many macros should I be using? Or how many carbs, fats, and proteins should I be eating every single day? How many hours should I be intermittent fasting? And the thing that I found to be true in all of this, you guys, is so many of us, we get locked in the little bitty hole. We get locked in the weeds. We get lost in all the one tiny little things that really at the end of the day only work for like the 1% of the world that has everything else kind of dialed in. But it's on the sense of, if we do the majority of things consistently, we're going to see massive change. And the reason why I share that, you guys, is because, like Court shared in her story, we had a macro coach. I had my own specific macro coach for over 2 years. I had weekly check-ins. I had all that stuff. We worked on my numbers. We worked on all these kind of things. But what we found is where I started and where I ended up were two completely different things, right? And so for so many of our clients, we see so many of y'all start off with, well, I got this program online and it says I'm supposed to eat this. Well, we'll get into this more, you guys, but understanding that your own individual internal makeup is literally individual to you. But I didn't understand that in the beginning. I was literally fixated on making sure that whatever my coach gave me, I met to like the gram of everything. And if I was like out for a long day. We had a social event. We had work. We had all these things. I literally would freak out every single day. I would almost carry my scale with me to restaurants. Like, can you imagine that, looking over and literally seeing somebody weigh and measure their food while they're going through their date with their wife? Like, that was basically me. Like, they sell these little micro measuring cups and everything else, or measuring devices. I mean, I literally was buying that. I literally was that guy that brought my own green beans and everything else to Thanksgiving dinner, right? And I wore the hat of, like, that's how dedicated I am. But I also didn't realize, like, what that was doing to my grandma. I didn't realize what that was doing to my other family members. Of, like, you're insane. Like, just enjoy this meal and understand that that one sliver of, sweet potato casserole isn't going to destroy the things that you're working so hard on. But I think I share this is because we see this so often. We get so fixated on, I have to know, I have to fit into this role. I have to fit into this box. And once I allowed myself to understand that those things can fluctuate, those things can essentially flow. And as so long as I'm consistently showing up for myself, like you guys have showed up for yourself today, that's what pays off in the long run. All right. So I've learned it. We've lived it. We've gone through all the rigors. We've gone through all the things in which we see you guys sharing, and we appreciate that. But know you're not alone in this journey, and know that us as coaches have walked the line. We've gone through the talk. We've gone through all these things ourselves, and we want to help you guys through this. So is it going back to Court or Jen? Court? All right. I'm going to hand it back off to Court. Appreciate y'all.
All right, you guys, we're back. So do you like the fact that we go back and forth? Is that fun? All right, guys. So I just kind of want to recap for you. We talked a lot in the last few days. This piece here is driving me crazy. About the mistakes, right? The mistakes that a lot of us have been making that are not our fault, right? Everybody remembers, not your fault. Hashtag not my fault, right? You have been sucked into the diet industry. It sucked you in when you were young. It probably got passed on for generations, right? So I really want to talk with you guys about why it's not your fault, right? So, first mistake. Does anyone remember what was the first thing we talked about on day one? Why diets don't work. Anybody remember? Because it's not simple, right? Like, they give you all of these things and we become overwhelmed, and like we just keep making this mistake because we're like, we have to go all in. We have to go all in. We can't eat till 9 o'clock. We got to stop eating at this time. We got to have this carb and we got to put in this container, and we have to, like, they make it so complicated that literally they set you up to fail, right? They're actually setting you up to fail because remember, the diet industry is how much? $60 billion. If you get results, you take money out of their pocket. Okay. So it's not simple. So what do we do instead? Like, what is our thing? So if you listen to most of the stuff we talk about with Shift, or you've seen our stuff, I haven't talked about it much actually in this workshop, but we believe in 1% shifts. Okay. 1%. Everybody can do 1% better. But the crazy thing is the compounding effect of that 1% gets you astronomically better results than if you go all in and then you go all out, right? I will just go off track right now. But if you've never read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So, and this is what we teach to our kids and the kids that we coach in the gym, just 1%, right? If you're trying to, eat more vegetables, eat one more vegetable tomorrow, right? Eat one serving, put on your tennis shoes. If you want to go on a walk, the first thing to do is put on your tennis shoes. Maybe don't make it out the door, right? But we want to keep it super simple, right? The opposite of what the diet industry does, because you know what simple does? It lets it be sustainable, right? And that's number 2. Diets are not sustainable, right? It's like, well, I can never have another carbohydrate ever in my life, or I can never go to brunch, or I can never have a cocktail. I can never eat my grandma's lasagna. The only way I'm going to get results is that I do all these crazy things that put me in this little tiny box and these rules that control my life. Brandon's telling me to slow down, but I'm passionate, you guys. All right, fine. See, we said we talk fast. I will slow down. He's over there going like this. Okay, we do this to Brandon to get him off the stage. So it's all good. And we love you guys and we love each other. Okay, so it's not sustainable, right? Because you can't do those things. You can't stick to those rules. Something else that we talk about is boundaries, right? Boundaries are free and they're flowing and they feel good. Rules, do this and you can't sustain it, right? They set you up to fail, okay? Victoria says she can follow me, so there you guys. You will learn that it was Eric Hardy. Thank you. Maybe it's Darren Hardy. I don't know. Anyway, find the compound effect. But they're not sustainable, right? And so when you fall off, what do you think? You're like, oh, that was my fault. I couldn't do it. I didn't have willpower. I self-sabotaged. None of that is true, right? It's because they set you up for something that's not sustainable, okay? So how do you create sustainable change? Well, you learn about your body. You understand that 80% and 20%. If you do 80% of the time what you need to do to create change, you can. And guess what? The other 20%, you can do whatever you like. You can have wine and you can not feel guilty and you can do all of that stuff. Okay. So they're not simple. They're not sustainable and they don't do the deeper work. And if you know anything about me, that's the piece that is so deep to my soul, is that we don't connect our mind and our body and our breath, and we don't understand the stories we created that aren't even true, right? Like, we have 3 questions that we ask. Is this real? Is this true? And is this mine? And those 3 things will change your entire life, right? That comes down to those simple shifts of having awareness, like, what am I thinking? Why do I believe that? Who first told me that? And gosh, is that even mine, right? Because when we start to go into what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What are these loops? What is my language? Like, all those deeper things. When you just have awareness and you uncover those deeper pieces, guess what? It starts to become simple. It becomes sustainable and it becomes easy, right? And that's where we get to step into letting go of control and really, 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 really being the creator of our life. Okay. So what is it? Simple. We're going to give you simple 1% shifts. Sustainable, do it forever. Okay. You're literally, we had somebody say the other day, one of our current shifters, she's like, somebody asked me what I was doing. And she goes, well, it's like this shift thing, but it's just kind of how I'm living my life, right? Like, you'll never be on a diet again. You're not on a plan. You're just doing life, right? And you understand the deeper parts of you. Okay. So I want you guys to take a second, right? You guys have showed up to this workshop. It's been amazing. You've had some really big aha moments. We've got some private messages. But right now is the part where we really ask for you to lend us your trust, okay? Because what starts to happen is about this time, you're like, yeah, I want to lean in. I want to make these shifts. And then you're like, oh gosh, but what if, right? So I want you guys to think about, probably everybody's heard of ROI, right? Return on investment. I want you guys to think for a second is like, right now, if you choose to not take a step closer, which we never have any pressure, but I really want you to ask yourself this. If you take a step closer, how is your life going to change? But then what's the cost of inaction? If you don't take a step closer, if you choose not to go on a journey with us, like, what's that cost of inaction? Okay. Remember, there is so much somehow it'll just get better, right? But it doesn't. But I want you guys to think about this. Lack of proper nutrition. I'm going to read this because it's important. Lack of proper nutrition and health costs us $344 billion annually in the US. Okay. 21% of our medical spend is on smoking. Okay. What I want you guys to understand is food has power. Learning how to de-stress has power, right? Like, when you choose to shift and when you choose to do these simple things and we choose to make it sustainable, you're not just affecting you right now. Okay. But you're affecting your financial scenario down the road. You're affecting how long you get to live. You're affecting how long you get to be with your family. Okay. But you're also affecting your mental health, and that affects your children and your spouse and everyone around you, right? You're actually like leaning in. And what we don't understand is that compound effect works both ways, right? So it compounds in the positive, but it also compounds in the negative. And I'd invite you guys to think about the last 2 years. How much downfall did we have in mental health because of COVID and because of the lockdowns and because of the fear, right? If you want to know what fear feels like, think about the last couple of years. So I want you guys to think about that compounding effect on your mental health. Which way is your mental health going right now? Which way is your physical health going, right? But you can shift that. You can shift those 1%. But if you choose not to shift, unfortunately, most of us track the other way, those 1%, okay? So I want you to think about the actual like financial cost of not taking care of yourself and not choosing to shift, right? What are you saving yourself down the line? What are you saving yourself right now? What are you saving yourself mentally and physically, right? On the physical side, I really want you guys to think about what in your life right now do you wish that you could do? Do you wish that you could just, run out and play with your kids? Do you wish that you could just chase your grandkids? Do you wish that you just woke up and didn't hurt, right? Do you just wish that you woke up and had the energy that you wanted to have? Those are parts of your life that you cannot put value on, because the thing that you can never get back is time. The thing that you can never get back is time. And we appreciate you guys spending this time with us because we know it's important. But I really want you to think about, what is waiting going to do, right? Sometimes people are like, well, 6 months from now, whatever. And I'm like, let's be honest, 6 months from now, if you haven't made those shifts yet, you're still going to be where you are. So I know for me, the day I chose to take that step into my program, my life forever changed. And honestly, I feel like I've aged backwards since then. And I feel like I got my life back. So I invite you guys to think about, if you're thinking about taking a step closer and you're having some resistance, what is the cost of not taking action? Okay. So I would like to share Phyllis's testimonial with you guys because I love Phyllis. She joined our first one. I got to find her. And not only did she join, but she recruited. Oh, I have Phyllis's testimony. Well, I'm just going to tell you about her then. She joined, and she is from West Virginia. She had a group of women from West Virginia. How many did she recruit? 10? So she was like, these guys are amazing. And she recruited probably 10 of her friends. Oh, look, Jen's going to find it and I'll be done by then, but it's okay. This is teamwork, you guys. She recruited probably 10 of her friends to do our very, very, very first shift with us. There she is. Thanks, Jen. Here's Phyllis. And Phyllis is retired, and she's like, I just wish people could see that it's more than just this physical stuff. And she was like all in on our very first one. So she had a checkup, and I'm going to read this to you. She said, I had to check up, this could test my eyes, with my PCP today. Y'all, she was impressed with my numbers, but more importantly, the first thing she noticed was my overall health. I'm always smiling and joking, but today there weren't any underlying unresolved issues. She knows all about me. And so originally, guys, this was an 8-week program. She said she sees the difference it's made in me, and it speaks volumes. My doctor reached out and asked the name of the program. So here's the cool part. You know what happened when the second time we ran this program? Her doctor joined us, and her doctor crushed it, and it was amazing. So then she said, sidebar, I wore a new pair of jeans today, 2 sizes smaller than the original pants I had on. One of the greatest freedoms has been weight loss. One of the greatest freedoms has been weight loss. What am I trying to say? The freedom has happened. Weight loss was secondary, right? And so that's the thing I want you guys to think about, is that right now you really might be desiring those physical changes. But once you go through this, those physical changes seem to be the secondary. And that was the same for me. Like, once I felt light and free and expansive, I was like, that's cool. Yeah, I do weigh less than I've ever weighed, and I feel amazing. But that wasn't the thing that I was chasing anymore. So, okay, guys, that is my part. I believe I'm passing it back to my husband, but they're having a meeting in there. So I just think that's still the plan. All right, back to Brandon. He's going to recap for you guys what the EPIC formula is, so you make sure you know what it is.
How we doing, y'all? How we doing? Before we start this, who can give me a hashtag? What's our formula called? EPIC. The E to the P to the I to the C. All right, give me a hashtag EPIC. Yep. You're back in full. We good? Okay. All right. Good thing Courtney's all over this thing. All right, you guys. So I'm going to recap our EPIC formula, go over each of these points and kind of where we drive from. All right. The first part, and I think we pride ourselves on this one massively, is the educational component of what we stand behind. Yet again, for all you guys that have gone through different diets in your lifetime, I think that, yet again, the average statistic on that is the average person is going to go between 50 to 130 different diets in their lifetime and spend, upwards of $9,000 or $10,000 on those diets. And I know other than the fact, even when I was working with a coach and he knew my intentions behind this of trying to grill him every single week of like, why are we doing this? What's going on? Everything else. He was still very reluctant on giving me kind of the insights as to why we were doing the things that we were doing. And so oftentimes, you guys, that's a big letdown. I think for so many of us is like, well, I'm following this thing that my friend was doing. Well, why? I don't know. It worked for her, so I assume it's going to work for me. Okay, well, has it worked for you? Well, no. Well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Well, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, yet again, your own internal system is literally independent to you. And without understanding these things and understanding the whys behind everything, you're kind of left feeling like I'm a failure constantly, right? Does that sound familiar with anyone? I've been there. All right. Now, the part that we really dive into when it comes to the, I said hashtag epic. Gosh. This is my life. I get pulled off the stage and I get yelled at. So the part that really we try to dive into, you guys, is not just the understanding of on a nutritional basis. Yes, we go into why carbs are important, why fats are important, why protein's important, how they affect your hormones, how you can open up the pathways and basically use cheat codes to your own internal environment to open up the system so you can get the results that you want. We dive heavily into that. But more importantly, if I asked you guys right now, what if you want to get healthy, lose body fat, get in the best shape of your life, whatever that may be, what's healthier, a chicken breast or McDonald's? I would assume most of you guys would say the chicken breast, right? Like, what's going to be better? What's going to have more nutrient value? Some broccoli or some deep fried whatever? Probably some broccoli, right? Like, I think inherently, most of us, we know inherently what is the better options for us. What we do and where we deliver where others fall short is helping you understand why you are not implementing those things on a day-to-day basis, and understanding that you can also have your cake and eat it too and have the results that you want, just like what Court was saying with that 80% and 20% portions on a day-to-day basis. All right. So give me a hashtag, have my cake and eat it too. All right. Have my get your hashtag and have your cake and eat it too. All right. If that's what you would love to have, is to have some enjoyment, have some love, have continue to have the connection in your life and still get the results that you want, give me a hashtag cake and eat it too. All right. So as we go through this, you guys, it's just like what Courtney shared about Phyllis, right? Like when Phyllis went on this journey with us, she had been doing diets for years. She had been doing all these different things. And, you know, what is my macro count? What is my calorie count? What is all these things? But as she dove in and got to understand the other meanings behind not only the nutritional components of it, but more importantly, the meaning of her, which is now why she is like a constant beaming smile all the time. That's where this education changes. It doesn't just change what you put on your plate and what you don't put on your plate, but it more importantly changes the way that you look yourself in the mirror. All right. Now I want to say that again. It changes the way that you look at yourself in the mirror. All right. And we want you guys to not only be able to know that on a day-to-day basis, you're making strides to becoming the best version of yourself, but you can look yourself in the mirror and finally acknowledge the beautiful person that you are. All right. That takes me into the next sequence of this, you guys, and that is purpose. All right. That is purpose. All right. And we are big on purpose. I think the part where we want to really help people understand is we all have goals. Right? Like we all have elements that we're trying to aspire towards and we're growing, because growth is literally one of our 6 human needs. We're either growing or we're dying, and we're trying to move forward on this. But for so many of our clients, it's, well, I want to lose this amount of weight. I want to, get back to this weight. I want to fit into this dress. I want to do X. I want X, Y, Z. Okay. And not that those things are wrong. All right. Those things can be amazing. But we want to dive in a little bit deeper to that. We want to unpeel the layers of the onion and see exactly what's down there and what's really holding true to the things in which you want to experience. Because you can have those things. You can lose the weight. You can lose the body fat. You can feel great in your clothes. You can, get a six-pack. Do whatever it wants to be. But also, does that deliver you being a good role model to your kids? Does that deliver you being the best brother or sister or husband or wife, whatever that may be? Does that allow you to be a better version of yourself, right? Because one thing that we know and we feel true to is it's not what you get in life that brings joy, love, and happiness. It's what you become along the way. Right. And yet again, like what Court was saying, she wouldn't give back any of those downward times or those times of darkness in her life, because that has allowed her to become the beautiful person that I'm lucky enough to be married to. Right. Like she is being able to share her gift of those lessons with y'all. All right. And it's being able to really see that everything that you guys have gone through is really a gift. right? Like despite what it may have done to you in that moment, that's an opportunity for you to learn from. And that's an opportunity for you to now create purpose from that. All right. And if we can look into that and show up every single day and stack that intention and stack those driving aspects, that's where we get to create a new element of ourselves. And that was Erica's story, right? Like we shared Erica's story the first day on there. Like she knew and she went with her gut and her heart and changed her trajectory of her life of not going through surgery and choosing to allow herself to take the course in the small steps every single day and showing up for herself every single day and seeing that instead of feeling like there was no choice, she made the choice to show up for herself. All right. Now, the next part on there, you guys, is intention. All right. Now, intention, I think, drives everything. All right. Because yet again, I think we, especially in Western society and in American culture, we get so landlocked in the scoreboard, right? Well, what was the result? Did you win or did you lose? What was the box score, right? Like, did you score a touchdown? Did you get a hit? How many points did you score? Well, that's all good and great. But nobody got to see the other things that went into that, right? Like if I turn on SportsCenter right now, I'm going to see all the highlights, but I don't get to see all the work that went into that day in and day out. I didn't get to see all the sweat equity, all the times that the person was questioning of like, do I want to show up for myself today? Do I want to go to practice? Do I want to go through these hardships, right? Like that, it comes from, yet again, that comes from a place of purpose, but it also comes from a place of intention. Right? Because I think we've all been there. I've been there. It's New Year's. There's a wedding coming up. There's a party coming up. It's time for a class reunion, whatever that may be. And damn it, I'm feeling down on myself. I'm feeling like all I want is this change. I want to feel confident. I want to feel these things. And so we reach out, we search online, or we go to the New York Times best-selling list because I think for the last, I think it's 20 or 30 years, at any time, there's in the top 10 best-selling book, there's a diet book within that top 10. Yet again, there's a reason why diet culture exists for what it does. But it's on that sense of it, you guys, is if you can take a step back and really see, okay, what is my purpose? What am I driving towards? What am I about to do right now? Right? I think for so many of our clients that when they started with us, they feel like they're just floating aimlessly down the river of life. Right? Like raise your hand if you felt like that. You feel like you're going towards Niagara Falls without a paddle in your hand. Right? Like you feel basically powerless. Well, when we add intention in your daily practices, when we add purpose and intention together, now all of a sudden you're going down that river, but now you are the director of your path. Now you are the one that's behind the driver's seat. Now you are the one that gets to see that you are the one that's steering this raft and you're not just letting life happen to you. All right. So we want to, and I promise you, it's the most least sexy slogan of all time, but it works. We strive for 1% progress, 1% improvement. All right. Just like what Court was talking about before I came on here. 1% progress, 1% improvement. Right. Like if I asked you right now, could you improve in some fashion, some force of your day by 1%? Give me a hashtag 1%. Give me a hashtag 1% because we honestly, we live by that, you guys. And because the reason why we live by that and we love it is because what I found to be true in coaching for 20 years is it's not the rah-rah, pregame or halftime speech. It's not the Rocky montage. It's not all those things. Yes, they may get you up. Yes, they may get you excited. Yes, they may do those things. But if you need that every single day, it's not the right thing for you. And you haven't done the work to get the results. All right. So what we strive for, you guys, is micro promise, micro commitment. All right. And and that comes back to when we have intention and really understanding where you are currently at right now. And when it comes down to, you guys, the reason why that magical unicorn program that your friend was doing that got her these amazing results that isn't yielding for you is because maybe perhaps you're in a different place of your life, right? Like so often we feel like it has to be perfect. Right? Like it has to be right on this line. We have to be perfect. I got to go from eating one meal a day that's barely coffee or at 7-Eleven to all of a sudden eating 5 or 6 meals that's nothing but fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, no dairy, no starch, no none of those things. And it has to be perfect for the rest of my life. What was the reality that you're going to follow that? I'm going to bet 0, right? And especially for a sustainable amount. So when we come from intention of like, hey, you know what? I haven't eaten a vegetable at all in my lifetime. Okay, well, what would it feel like if we ate one vegetable this week? That would be progress. That'd be 1% progress. So in addition to this, you guys, allow yourself to relinquish all the weight and all that pressure that you guys constantly are carrying around for you. I give you permission as your coach right now to take that stuff, package it up, put it down, and walk away from it. All right? I give you permission right now. Give me a hashtag, put the bag down. All right? And the last part of this, you guys, is creation. All right? The last part of this is creation. And then I think this one really, really, I think speaks to our soul, because I didn't understand this one for a long time. I didn't understand. All I did was it's the how. You show up, you do this, and that's all it is. And I mean, there's been times in my life where I've been fortunate enough to experience so many joyful things, but I've also been fortunate enough to experience some very, very dark times in my life. And I know during those dark times where I've been in massive amount of fear. Literally every time I look down, I don't know which way to look, and I feel boxed in, and I feel like I don't have a choice in anything that I do. I feel like the world's against me. I feel like the world is just closing in on me. I've been there. But I've also been able to say that I've been blessed to be able to experience and get to the other side of that, which is usually where the light is, right? It's just like anything else. It's darkest just before the light, right? It's darkest right before the sun rises every single day. Oftentimes that happens for us in our lives, right? Like that's just a representation of what happens. When we feel like it's the darkest and we don't feel like we have a choice, that's when we're about to break through, and that's when we're about to see the other side. If there's one thing I've learned as a coach, as a person, as a dad, as a husband, as all these things, is obstacles are inevitable. And especially when you're about to try to create the things in your life that you want, right? Like there's going to be restriction. There's going to be challenges along the way. But if you can allow yourself to see those challenges and understand that no matter what gets thrown at you at that gauntlet, you are the creator of your life. You are the one that life is happening for, and that life is coming from you, right? Just like what Court loves to say, life is happening from you. All right. So that's where we want to be able to piece these pieces together, you guys. And, you know, the one person that was one of our recent shifters that comes to mind is Rebecca. Right. And for some of you guys that have been in the group, you might have seen Rebecca. She's always on the stream on there commenting and everything else. And she was one person that from the get-go was very much reluctant of like, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. This language seems absurd to me. Give me the how. I'm supposed to be counting calories. I'm supposed to be counting macros. I'm supposed to be doing all these things. And literally the conversation was like, just take a breath. What would it feel like just breathe right now? What would it feel like just to kind of just let life ease, right? Like just the amount of tension just in her voice of just that conversation of, I don't know what's going on. Like, right? Like as we got through this and as she got to see the light of like, wow, this can be simple. This can be truly very, very simple. Now, I'm not going to promise you it's going to be easy, but I'm going to say it's very, very simple. And if we can stack these things, just weeks after that conversation, she was a completely different person. And it was coming from the creation that she was implementing from her soul, not necessarily from her head, from her soul and from her heart. And that's a different driving factor, and that's a different energy. And so that's our formula, you guys. That is our epic formula. Give me a hashtag epic one more time. It's the E, it's the P, it's the I, it's the C. It's education, it's purpose, it's intention, and it's creation. So I'm going to hand it back over to Jen. She's going to bring it home for you guys. I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you so much, y'all.
All right, y'all. Okay, so who do we have here? Vicky, hashtag epic. Catherine, hashtag epic. Facebook user, I don't see you, but hashtag epic. Marcy, Gianna. Amazing, y'all. So we're gonna drop a couple more hashtags in here. So listen to this, and if it applies to you, drop me a hashtag yes. Okay? So have you ever felt defeated by diet culture? If that applies to you, hashtag yes. Okay. Here's another one. Hashtag yes if you are a busy caregiver or mom or cat or dog parent. So Vicky's yes. Yes. Okay, how about this one? Hashtag yes if you want results, but many times you feel like you're on a hamster wheel. You feel like you've hit a plateau. You feel like you're trying to outrun your fork. Or maybe you're just stuck on losing the same five pounds over and over and over again. And I think what I'm seeing, y'all, as you're hashtagging yes, is that some of these things, Vicky, yes, 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 resonate with you. And we have walked in your shoes. We have been where you are. It's not your fault, but also know that there is hope. And whether you're looking to just figure out one piece of the pie, or you're trying to puzzle it all together and have holistic health, you are in the right place. You are in the right place. So I'll kind of bring it home for y'all. I think we've heard from a lot of you why you're showing up over the last 3 days. But honestly, you're the one that knows best why you truly showed up for the last 3 days. Maybe it's because you haven't gotten the results that you want. Maybe it's because you are concerned that your family has had a history of fill in the blank. Diabetes, high blood pressure. Maybe you're concerned. My father passed away he was 67. Way too early. I was 18. I lost him way too early. He had a history, and it's a history that I hope not to repeat myself. So maybe you showed up for that reason. Maybe you showed up just because you want to be your happiest self. You want to walk into the gym. You want to nail it day after day. Feel your best, have the best sleep, have the best nourishment. Maybe you just want a better relationship with food. Maybe the scale says what you want it to say. But this doesn't really connect with this. And when you look yourself in the mirror, it doesn't feel like it's all together. But regardless of why you showed up, if you're still here, you're committed because you understand that there is more. You understand the EPIC formula. And as funny as we try to be the E to the P to the I to the C, there's a lot of truth behind it. We've had over 100 clients who've worked with us in just 5 months since we started, who have leaned in and gotten the results. We've shown you some of their stories. But this is our guaranteed, and yes, guarantee, I'll tell you what that means in a second, 4-step strategy to get you the results and the confidence you deserve and never having to diet again. And Vicky, I see your hashtag results, role model to my children. I get it. I got 2 kiddos at home as well who watch me every day. They know and they see what I do. And I just don't want to live my dad's story again. And remember that nothing here that you've seen over the course of the last 3 days is fluff. This is what I've done to achieve the results. This is what Courtney and Brandon have done. This is what hundreds of our clients have done to be the happiest and healthiest self that they can be and to achieve true transformational results. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, this is Phyllis. Let me go ahead and stop this for a second. Sorry, excuse me here. Okay. So as I share a little bit more, you all have a choice at this point, right? You're looking at this thing, wondering if it's for you. It's probably a little different than what you've tried in the past, probably very different. And the reality is that you can continue feeling frustrated. You can continue on the roller coaster of dieting. You can continue feeling like you've got to piecemeal this and get this from there and not really truly be your happiest and healthiest self. You can spend the next few months or even years just trying to get the results, hitting your head against the wall. Or you can decide that you've had enough setbacks regarding your health and nutrition. You can decide that you're going to stop living in fear and that you're going to stop giving the diet industry your money. Or you can finally take a hold of your health. You can simplify your nutrition. You can fast track your results. And you can get the results that so many of our clients have had. So if you were going to ditch the diet, honestly, this is what the workshop is called. I want you to honestly answer this question to yourself. Would you rather continue with the noise out in the world, with all the things that haven't worked, with the defeat, not just physical, but emotional defeat that comes along with the diet culture and the scale? Or do you want a simple, guaranteed way to get you the results and the confidence you deserve without ever having to diet again? So if you're staying on the defeat track, hey, we get you. You can go ahead and hashtag defeat. Or if you're ready to make a change, you can go ahead and hashtag simple, because that's exactly what you'll get, or hashtag freedom, because that's exactly what you'll get. I see you, Catherine. I hear you. We will make this simple. It doesn't have to be complicated, y'all. So, and Vicky, hashtag simple. Thank you, Catherine, hashtag simple again. And we often get that, sometimes I don't have time to do something more. Y'all, this is designed to give you back time in your life, time in your day. One of the questions we get is, how much time is this going to take, Jen? A couple hours a week, y'all. Think about how much time you spend thinking about dieting. Y'all told us. How much time you spend on meal prepping, how much time you spend on beating yourself up, how much time you spend on eating because we're sad, we're frustrated, we're overwhelmed, we're all the things, and we treat it with food. So it's going to be a couple hours, and what I mean by that is there's modules and there's coaches and there's group coaching calls, because you're not going to go at it alone. Throw that alone out the window. That's not us. That's not our style. And then the other thing we often hear is, Jen, I know what to do. Y'all, I knew what to do too. And I told you that parenting story at the end of day one. I went through foster training. I went through, knowing all the stuff to do. But when that kiddo showed up at my door and knocked and said, hello, life changed. All the parenting books go out the window. It's just like when we know what things to do, but our friends ask us to go out and have a meal. Our partner wants to go on a date night. Maybe it's a Super Bowl party. We know what to do, but all of a sudden we suck it up to, I don't have willpower, or I don't have this one magical thing that everybody else who gets results. Y'all, it's not your fault. It is not your fault. So if you feel, and I'll just, again, I'm pretty a straight shooter. I think a lot of folks will know this about me. We've had a couple of clients who've already signed up. And I think one of the things that they love the most is we're authentic. We're real people, y'all. And so if you feel that this isn't for you, I'm going to give you an invite right now to thank you for showing up for us and with us for the last 3 days. Thank you for showing up for yourself. But you can go ahead and jump off. And that's absolutely fine. We understand and won't take it personal. But I know for most of you, you really don't want to go it alone anymore. I didn't want to go alone. I wanted to get the results that I needed. So if you're sticking on, that going alone, doing the same thing over and over again, essentially being insane is not the answer. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the different results. So if there was a way to get our system to get you the results and the confidence that you deserve and never have to diet again, the question is, would you take it? Because a common question we get after a workshop like this is, can we take a step closer and work with y'all? We've had over 100 people do that just over the last 5 months. And again, I'm here to tell you that this doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars, as so many of us have spent on dieting. This doesn't have to cost $10,000. This doesn't have to cost $7,500. This doesn't even have to cost $5,000. Okay. And don't worry, really, if you're on, the hamster wheel, you're trying to get your results, you're just not sure where to start. This applies to you. If you're a busy parent, a working professional, you got dogs, cats, kids, all the stuff like I do, this applies to you as well, and you can do this. And this is a journey that so many of our shifters have been on. So what do you get as part of our program? First off, you get a tailored meal plan. This isn't your best friend's meal plan that you plug in. This is a tailored meal plan for you. You get 8 shift models, and we will cover it all. One coach who's going to show up, sell you a plan, and walk out the door. 3 coaches who have your back. A private Facebook community of people just like you who've had journeys and obstacles and tried the diets and have been overwhelmed and defeated, but now have finally found hope. Weekly coaching calls. So whatever it is that is going on in your life, but that we can help with, we're absolutely here for. A couple of our, coaching calls that have been beyond nutrition lately. One of them is regarding, hey, my family's on track with me, right? Like, I went on this journey. They're eating a lot of the same similar things that I am, and I'm excited for that. I don't have to cook 4 different meals. How do I keep them on that journey? We can talk about that. We can troubleshoot in the moment. Other things. I've got this big triathlon event coming. What should I eat right before? What should I eat the weeks before that? I've got this mobility issue that, maybe I've got a problem with my knee. Let's all jump on there. But yeah, we're going to cover the nutrition and give you a tailored approach as well. And then the bonuses. So the hormones masterclass, the breathwork masterclass. We also have a cookbook for you, a shift channel with a whole bunch of YouTube videos right to just our client base. And the program starts on June 27th. So essentially 10 days from now. Okay. I'm going to share a couple more testimonials to give you a couple more hope, a little bit more hope. This happened today, y'all. So I work a full-time regular job actually as an HR manager. And about 2 o'clock today, I noticed that somebody couldn't make the coaching call. And I was like, okay, let me go and see what their message is. This is Kathleen Hubbard. She joined us in early March. And Kathleen has been on a journey of her own. Then she found Shift as well. So Kathleen says, I would love to do this. And she's referring to the group coaching call, but I'm going to Tennessee this evening. And I'm doing the one thing at the top of my bucket list. Sitting in a seat and doing my seatbelt without an extension. Talk about a major non-scale victory with so much emotional freedom in that. So I'm so excited once again, and she's actually going to go see her grandchildren and spend some time. She doesn't have to worry now about her seatbelt working or not working for her, needing an extension. I asked her, how are you feeling overall? She's like, I'm much happier. I feel amazing. And I can finally say I look beautiful. And I have never been able to say that at all. Kathleen's lost some weight. Kathleen's done some things. She's reeled in her nutrition, etc. But there's so much power behind what she said here. Stacy, she's seen the Shift program multiple times. She's apprehensive about joining. It's online. I don't know Jen, Brandon, Courtney. She stayed plugged in. She realized, hey, what do I have to lose? The answer was nothing. I gained something and be able to put that into practice to be my best self physically and mentally. She joined in April. Since then, she celebrated 1 year of not drinking and she has stopped vaping. She no longer carries that guilt of, I didn't PR. I missed a Monday. I didn't make the ideal food choice. There's no such thing, y'all. It's about balance and sustainability. She has leaned into us and really can't say better things about us as coaches. She's living her best life at the 1%. Phyllis, we've talked about Phyllis as well. Again, her doctor joined us as well. She was like, whatever Phyllis is doing, yes, I've been a physician for a couple decades. I'm going to go ahead and lean into. Her name is Liz. Liz is one of our shifters as well. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to take a moment and run with this for a second for me. And what I mean by that is really settle in. Maybe close your eyes. So imagine if you had the weight loss results you wanted and you felt comfortable throwing out your scale. Imagine if you can run after your kids and not have to worry about your health. Imagine if you got the performance you wanted at the gym without working out for countless hours. I'm guessing a lot of that is feeling pretty free. You felt the nutrition was simple and can finally stop dieting forever. You no longer had to feel shame or guilt around food. Imagine if you actually had real answers to your questions and you had coaches who have your back and who've gone on a similar journey themselves. So, and again, the bonuses, as you might have heard, the masterclass, our cookbook, and also our breath work. Okay. So again, you have options. Totally, we don't take this personally. We've heard of dietitians and nutritionists. They do good work. You can spend thousands of dollars with them. You could decide to piecemeal this and maybe hire a new mentor or a life coach. Brandon has talked about his mentor as well. He's changed his life. Those can cost thousands of dollars as well. Maybe you've thought about hiring somebody who is a body image counselor or can help you with the inner work. We get it. Those can be pretty impactful people as well, typically in more the tens of thousands of range. So what have you really paid to get the results that you want that maybe you haven't had, and to get the results that you really deserve? Now, I'm going to stop here for a second because a lot of folks are like, well, Jen, great. This all sounds amazing, but my skin's on the line. My money's on the line. My hard-earned cash is on the line. Y'all, I don't expect you to give me your trust. But what I would like and request is that you loan us your trust for 30 days. And this is why we have a 30-day back money guarantee. And what we mean by that is if you put in the work, if you show up for the group coaching, if you attend the modules, if you do all the things you're committed to and you don't get the results, money's back. You've got your money back. But I can tell you one thing, if you loan us your trust for 30 days, we will work to gain your trust and to earn your trust during those 30 days. So loan us the trust for 30 days. We've got our money back guarantee. You really have nothing to lose. Okay. Again, this program's not $10,000. It's not $5,000. It's not $3,000. It's not $1,000. And we know that we will get you the physical results and the confidence that you deserve without ever having to diet again. So stop writing them your paychecks. The diet company, that is. The entire program is just $49 a week. So we have a couple different payment options. We have a pay in full payment option of $688, which is, y'all, for all the kind of work that we do, this is a huge, there would be a significant investment in yourself. We do have 3 payments of $249, or we go, with our package. We understand that life can be complicated and finances can be a little muddy sometimes. We don't want you to miss out on investing in yourself. So we can also do weekly payments of $49 a week with a registration fee of $97. Okay. So that is essentially our program. We appreciate y'all leaning in. I'm going to actually have Courtney come back, but I go ahead and drop #freedom. #freedom. If any of this over the last 3 days has connected, and I'm going to go ahead and have Courtney run us through what our site looks like and what your experience will be. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I can't see you guys. It's okay. All right, guys. So I feel like this is that meme where it's like, can we skip to the good part? I'm not a singer, but okay. So this is where we get to walk through the good part. So a lot of people are like, okay, I get it. You're going to teach me all this stuff. I'm going to learn how to shift, but how do you do it? Okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what the modules look like. Okay. So module 1, this is the belief shifting process, right? So as you guys have heard and know, is that it's the inner work, right? And so we're really going to go through how do we shift your beliefs, right? So that's module 1. Let me back up for a second. It's 12 weeks, but there's 8 modules, okay? I said a little bit earlier, the first time we did this, it was 8 weeks. And that what we realized, you might have learned this already, is we are like the fire hose. And we thought we were going slow enough, but it turned out we needed some integration weeks and we needed some time to embody the work, which is why it's spread out. So essentially it's like 2 weeks of modules, then a week of integration, 2 weeks of modules, a week of integration. Okay. So module 1 is the belief shifting process. Module 2 is we're going to teach you how to change your state. This is by far one of the coolest things that I have learned and that we love to teach. And then we're going to go into nutrition. Okay. With the nutrition, you guys, I can click on these. It's super simple. Okay. We're going to teach you a very, very, very simple way to understand nutrition so that it is not a diet. So it's actually nutrition. So you're actually learning what you need to know about nutrition. Okay. So then module 3 is the 6 human needs. We've referred to this quite a bit actually through this process when we talk about needing to, feel connected to your grandma, or the fact that like your grandma's meeting her need for significance by cooking for you. Guys, this was the thing. I think this is one of the first things that I learned when I went through my program. And when I realized that my eating disorder was simply my need for control, which was a negative way of meeting my need for certainty, I literally shifted what I'd been doing for 25 years into a meditation practice, and every single thing in my life changed. Okay. So I am a huge fan of the 6 human needs. The beautiful thing too is the more you learn about yourself, the more you can learn about the people in your life. And that's our ripple effect, right? And that's our thing of, like we say, your kids' lives are going to change. Everybody's lives change around you. Okay. So that's module 3. I'm really passionate about this stuff. I'll try not to go on forever. Module 4 is how do we actually change our habits, right? Because we can have all this great inner work, but if we still have the same habits that we've always had, that's not going to change. Okay. Module 5, courage, commitment, and consistency. So inside of Shift, we have what we call the 6 C's. The first 3 are courage, commitment, and consistency. There are so many breakthroughs that happen in this week where people are like, oh, that's the thing. Now I understand. I've started to make some habits. Now I understand that daily courage, that I'm committing to myself daily, and that the consistency is the key. Okay. Module 6, curiosity, connection, and congruence. So that's really understanding, being curious about why you do what you do, asking questions, getting connected to yourself. That's that mind-body connection that we talk about, and congruence. Module 7, stories and identities. Really unpacking, like for me, it was that story that my brother told me that I had hippo hips when I was 14 that I then carried till I was 40. And it wasn't even a true story, right? It was an identity and a story that I created. So I help you see those and then break those down. And the last one is values and beliefs. And these are really the bigger picture things that when these start to shift, everything in your life changes. Okay. So inside of each week, there is a video of Brandon and I. We try to keep them 30 to 45 minutes. You will find we love to coach. Okay. You have these forever. So it's not like you get to watch them once and you never go back. You get them forever. They are on a drip because we want you guys to stay in the moment that you're at. So there's a video with us. There is a 4-question homework. Okay. So, but what we really encourage you guys is actually do the work, right? You need to actually sit down and go through the stuff, and don't just hear it, but be it. Because when you are it, that's when it starts to change. Okay. And then there's a meditation or a breath work that I coach in all of those, which I don't care if you don't love mine, go find some form of slowing down and getting connected to your body. And then, like Jen said, there are the bonuses. But the biggest, most important part of this program is that there is coaching every single week. There's an hour-long coaching call. Okay. What we know to be true is that, like, you could go search all of this on the internet and a million different places and figure it out if you so desired. But what we pride ourselves on is coaching. Like Jen said, you get 3 of us every single week. The people that show up and ask the questions and lean in and get support and support each other, those people make this a lifetime change. So, like, it's not required, but I would, in your own heart, require it, because that is where the magic happens. And like Jen said, you could go get all these other coaches. You guys, if you pay us 1-to-1, for me, it's $250 an hour. So show up, get the coaching. So that's how we're going to change your life. I don't know how to stop sharing, so Jen's got to help me.
Awesome. Okay. So I got a couple of questions here. One of the group coaching calls. The group coaching calls will be on a cadence to try to get in different times. So some of them will likely be towards the late morning, early afternoon, and then some of them will also be in later evening. So we try to make sure that as many people as can attend. Everything is always available on replay. So we record all of our group coaching calls. They are done in private Zoom link. And then we will post those later for the Facebook community that you would be invited to. So again, there is a separate Facebook community for our own shifters. What other questions do y'all have? Okay, let's see.
Freedom.
All right. Okay. If you're looking for the website, it is www.totalshiftproject.com/shift. The website is active right now. What will end up happening is that these videos will come down here over the course of the next couple of days. We won't keep them active on the Facebook group. And then the sale really will be going on for about a 5 to 6 day period. And then after that, we will kind of quietly retreat for a little bit as we're serving our new clients. And then we, we'll pour into our new community. So go ahead and drop any questions on here. Reach out to us, DM us, Courtney, Brandon, and myself, and we will make sure to get to you. But again, if you are finally looking to stop the diet culture and get the true results that you want, we don't expect you to give us your trust, but loaning us your trust for 30 days with a money back guarantee, you've really got nothing to lose. So Brandon, Courtney, and I will jump on here and say good night. For now, you can go ahead and hashtag replay if you are watching this session. And know we still have the active, scholarship going on right now. So cool. Good night, everybody, and we will see you on the other side.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.